Assalamualaikum brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, this morning I continue with talking on the topic of religion and belief, and also like to talk on other things that I found interesting happening in this world. Okay, the reason why I continue with this making a video on religion and belief, because I base my video on reading the Koran and the Gospel of Barnabas, which are the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have to follow the guidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed that I'll send down my guidance to mankind. Whoever follow my guidance, no need to feel worry, no need to feel sad. So why not we'll be making ourselves happy by ensuring that we follow the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from me making an effort to read the Quran and the Gospel of Barnabas, hoping that I'll get the benefit from it, and you who listened will also get the benefit from it. So I'd like to bring you to the attention of what's happening to this world nowadays with regard to the pandemic of COVID-19, where we see the world is struggling to control or to reduce the pandemic in their country. And what I notice, some country are doing it well, some country not doing it well, based on the number of cases they experience in their country. Now I come to know that the countries that are not successful in controlling the pandemic in their country, to my surprise, the reason, just I got this fact, like Vietnam, 2% of the population so far got the vaccine. Philippines, 9% of the population got vaccinated. Malaysia, 10% of the population got vaccinated. And I came to know that it is hard to get the vaccine to come to their country. And I like to continue. Singapore, 80% of the people in Singapore got vaccinated. That is among the highest in the world. And surprisingly, China also, like 70 to 80% of the population got vaccinated. Surprise. And China claimed a day they can vaccinate 500,000 or like 500 to 100,000 people a day. It's not surprise how these people in China work. They make use of stadium as a place to vaccinate people, and how many people they employ or train to vaccinate people. It's not surprise because China produced the vaccine, and what I heard, they have 5 companies there, they can produce the vaccine. So not surprised, they have plenty of vaccine available for their country, and even send the vaccine to other country, but still not enough. Of course, the priority is for their own people. Okay, I continue. US 50% of their people got vaccinated. I think in America, I heard that there are people who are stubborn, they don't want to be vaccinated. Even Bill Gates, I heard, not getting vaccinated, but I don't know the latest news. But surprisingly, Bill Gates refused to get vaccinated, and maybe that influenced the American mind as well. Maybe he was saying that side effect, or I don't know what he's been saying, why he don't want to be vaccinated. But of course, people look up to the Bill Gates, so maybe have influenced the American, or some American. And also I seen the YouTube that the American who got infected regret of their undoing of not getting vaccinated, because if they want, the vaccine is readily available in US. So I think in UK as well, I believe there are people don't want to get vaccinated. But now there is evidence already that vaccine is working. So maybe people are now begin to learn that vaccine is good, because at one time they were worried about the side effect the blood clots of people who had been vaccinated with AstraZeneca. Even some countries in Europe don't approve AstraZeneca because of this blood clotting issue as the side effect of that vaccine. Well, when I got vaccinated by AstraZeneca, of course I knew the story of that blood clot. But then my wife was saying, don't worry about blood clots. It's better to die from blood clots than to die from COVID-19. Oh, that is a boost to the spirit for us, for me, to get vaccinated. And my wife was saying that it's true. It's better to die from blood clots than to die from COVID-19, because if you get COVID-19, you also can spread it to other people. But if you got blood clots, it doesn't affect other people. So it's a better choice. Okay, at one time I was saying, even I said to the nurse, I want Chinese vaccine. I don't want AstraZeneca. Then the nurse said, no, we only have AstraZeneca. We don't have Sinopharm. But then there's no choice. I just take it. But I heard there are some Chinese people don't want to be vaccinated using AstraZeneca. They insist on being vaccinated using Sinopharm. But in Singapore, you can make the choice whether you want Sinopharm or Zeneca, because many Singaporean goes to private doctor to get their vaccine. So surprisingly, Singapore vaccine is readily available in Singapore. What I heard, Singapore government invest money to the manufacturer of the vaccine, because they put money in IPO investment, meaning they put money early before they make the vaccine. So they have to build the facilities and getting the people to do the research in producing this vaccine. I think what they had done was right. In the end, when the vaccine was produced, Singapore was given the priority to get the vaccine. and that is the reason why COVID-19 vaccine is readily available in some country like Singapore, but not country like Philippines, Malaysia, and what else, maybe Vietnam, because they had not put money in investing the production of vaccine, except maybe China, so they don't worry because their own company in their country that produce the vaccine. Okay, so you see that the effect of vaccination in Singapore, at one time when Malaysia COVID-19 case was only 10,000, at that time Singapore case was 30,000, something like that. So I said to myself, wow, Malaysia was doing better than Singapore in controlling COVID-19. But soon I was surprised to observe Singapore was maintaining like the figure 50,000 case, while Malaysia went up very quickly, now overtaking Singapore. Singapore still remain 50,000 to 60,000. Malaysia now I think more than 1 million already, and a day something like 20,000 new cases. So it's a lot. It's like a breakthrough. So is the Philippines breakthrough, and Indonesia breakthrough. Like Indonesia, I was surprised. I heard that they get vaccine from China, and they're vaccinating the people with Sinopharm. But I thought when I heard that Indonesia got breakthrough, many people got infected, I thought Sinopharm Chinese medicine not working. That was what I thought, blaming the Chinese Sinopharm not working. But then I dig up the information, found out that they don't have enough vaccine, and so far the percentage of people got vaccinated still though only 10%. So now I can't blame on Chinese vaccine anymore, Sinopharm. So the reason is no vaccination, or the vaccinated people is still low in percentage. And when I look at Singapore, why the case is low or still maintain 50,000, then I heard that something like 80% of the people in Singapore had been vaccinated, and the vaccine in Singapore is available in the private doctors, so they got vaccinated just by going to private doctors. Okay, I think it's complete my talk on seeing the world. Now I also heard that Sinopharm vaccine is not effective after 6 months or more because of the antibody count drop quickly. I don't know whether it's true or not, but then the solution can be just get another dose, like in Israel. They found out that upsurge of case is due to though many people there got vaccinated, the upsurge is caused by the antibody count dropping after 6 months. And in Israel, they were talking already about a third dose. So they got already first dose, second dose, and to contain this upsurge or breakthrough, they may inject the population with third dose. Maybe the trend will be in the future we get third dose, fourth dose, fifth dose, maybe to 10 dose. We don't know. So maybe in the future, I believe that counting the antibody in our body become the trend. So I look at the technology of counting the antibody in our body. It's not difficult. So they have like kind of paper. They put the blood on that, smear the blood on that, and then it give result whether the person. I think it didn't count, but it only give result that the antibody is present in the blood. So far as counting, I don't know whether there is a way to count the antibodies in the blood. Maybe there is, but it's not simple as just putting blood on a piece of paper, special paper, and it give result. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's go back to the intention of making this video. Let me recast on reading the Koran. It is about, couldn't remember. Let me refer to the Quran. Okay, it is about the migration of Muslims who had been oppressed in Mecca to migrate to Medina. It is actually a compulsory because it is instruction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Prophet was also saying people to migrate. It's become compulsory doing, and those who fail to migrate for no good reason will be sent to hell. And if they have good reason because they didn't know the way or they were sick, then it was forgiven. On reading the Gospel of Barnabas, they talk about fasting. So fasting is a way of training, discipline ourselves from following our sense. So sense used to mean our desire, our nafs. In Arabic is nafs, desire, which tend to make us inclined to do sin, because our desire most of the time is inclining to do sin. Okay, brothers and sisters, let me read Koran. Should be reading page 96 to get the barakah of this morning. Let me read the first sentence in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wastaghfirillah, innallaha kana ghafurur rahim. Sadaqallahul azim. Rather short sentence. Anyway, let's see the meaning. And ask for forgiveness from Allah. Verily Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. So next sentence, and don't you have a debate with people who had been cruel to himself or being verily Allah doesn't like people who are cruel to themselves or people who are making sin without control, or the sinners. Of course, the sinners, no point of debating because they are sinners and want to do sin. and would not listen and believe. There's no point debating to protect them. There's no point to debate to protect these people. And they can hide from the people, but they cannot hide from Allah, as Allah is with them when the night that they decide to make a decision that is secret, that Allah does not like. Allah oversee what they are doing. So meaning that Allah is all listening, and when it said Allah is near them, Allah listen and see what they are doing. Next sentence, that's it. If you debate trying to protect them in this world, then whoever is doing against Allah in the next world, then are you be the protector of them? So Allah is challenging. If you protect them, will you be the protector in the next world? So that is something that make us think. And whoever is doing bad and being cruel to himself, and then he asks for forgiveness from Allah, he will find that Allah is most forgiving and merciful. And whoever is doing sin, then verily he's making it difficult for himself, difficult for his own self. Allah knows, all-knowing and wise. And whoever is doing wrong or being sinful, then he accuses people who had not done wrong. Verily, he burdened himself with lying and a sin that is clear, that is obvious. Of course, it happened, I've seen that this person steal money, and he said the other person is stealing money. It's happening. And if not, the favor of Allah and His blessing to you, Muhammad, verily some of them would like very much to deviate you, but then they only deviate themselves and will not be making danger to you even a little, because Allah has sent down the Koran and the Sunnah. Okay, Sunnah mean the doing of the Prophet to you, that teach you whatever you have not known before, the gift of Allah in plenty to you. Okay, that complete my reading of the Quran. Okay, straightforward. So now let me read the Gospel of Barnabas. Okay, Gospel of Barnabas, we should be reading chapter 109 this morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jesus answered, even so I tell you, ought to watch with the soul by the Son of Justice, S-U-N, Son of Justice, which our God, not to boast yourself of the watching of the body. It is most true, therefore, that bodily sleep is to be avoided as much as is possible, but to avoid altogether is impossible, the scent of flesh being weighed down with food and mind with business. So about sleep, I tell you, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam don't like sleeping very much. He even said that sleep is near to death. So what Prophet Muhammad is doing is also in agreement what this chapter is saying. Well, this sleep is to be avoided as much as is possible, but to avoid altogether is impossible, the sense of being weighed down with food and mind with business. Therefore let him that will sleep avoid too much business and much food. Of course, if you eat too much, if you think too much of business, you feel tired and then make you want to sleep. as God lives, in whose presence stand by soul. It is lawful to sleep somewhat every night, but never lawful to forget God in his fearful judgment, and the sleep of the soul of such oblivion. So meaning there is practice in Islam, Salat Tahajjud. Salat Tahajjud is whereby in the middle of the night you wake up and perform Salat. This night Salat is the doing of the prophets, and many Muslims are also doing that night, praying Tahajjud. The answer, he who write, O Master, how can we always get God in memory? Absolutely, it seems to us impossible. Said Jesus with sigh, this is the greatest misery that man can suffer, O Barnabas. For man cannot here upon earth have God, his Creator, always in memory, saving them that they are holy. But for they always have God in memory, because they have them in the light and the grace of God. So they cannot forget God. But have you seen them work, carry stone? By their constant practice, they have learned to strike. They speak with others, and all the time they are striking the iron tool that work the stone without looking the iron, and they do not strike their hand. Now do you likewise desire to be holy if you wish to overcome this mystery of forgetfulness? Sure, that is the water cliff, the hard rock with a single drop striking for long period. This is very striking to me, that Jesus saying, don't let the remembrance of God go away. I think in Islam there is also practice called zikir. Zikir means remembering God, remembering Allah. So there are people who discipline themselves, remembering Allah all the time. And it is mentioned like here, people working, hammering iron. He doesn't have to look at the iron, he just keep hammering. But he still can do it. He doesn't hit his hand. So meaning what is meant here is there's deep meaning, that you still work but you still remember God. Is what it means here. Do you know why you have not overcome this mystery? Because you have not perceived that it is sin. Oh, great. The prophets, they always remember God. If they don't remember God, a minute, that minute is a sin to the prophet of God. So that's what it means here. Because you have not perceived that is sin, I tell you then, that it is an error with a prince give thee a present, O man, that thou should shut thine eyes and turn thy back upon him. Even so they err who forget God, for at all times men receive from God gift and mercy. Very striking chapter to me. And with that, I leave you. Thank you very much for listening.